Good afternoon, everyone. For all of you friends, neighbors who either live in Elmhurst, close to Elmhurst, or last one, want to move to Elmhurst. My name is Bill. You are here in today's episode of Real Living in Elmhurst. So let me start off by sharing with you why perhaps you're here. This video podcast series that I've launched is all about spotlighting, highlighting a friend, a neighbor, an individual or business owner who runs and operates a business here in the wonderful city of Elmhurst. So, as we now get into the meat of our conversation, I want to introduce you to, you know what? Hang on one second. I'm going to tease you with why I'm now going to attempt to say this in Spanish. Te presento a mi profesora y a mi amiga. Let's welcome my friend, my Spanish teacher, Esther, into the studio.
Hola.
Esther, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Yo también, muchas gracias.
De nada, you're welcome.
All right, for all of you watching, that was my attempt to, of course, show off to my Spanish teacher that over the past, let me count how many years, almost 3 years, right, Esther?
Probably around that time. Sí.
It's my attempt to show off to my wonderful Spanish teacher, Esther, as to what I've learned. Well, what I'm learning each and every day, little by little, correct?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So let me start off by thanking you and telling you how honored and thrilled I am to be part of your podcast, The Real Living in Amherst. So thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled. Thank you.
Oh, hey, it's my honor that you're able to share some of your time with me this way, virtually, so that we can learn more about you, learn more about your business, but more importantly, how you've been able to leverage technology to run your business, right? So let's start off with that. For the people watching who may not know Esther, but certainly you know me, let's now ask Esther. I will ask her, Esther, what is your business? What do you do?
Yes, so currently I am an online Spanish tutor or Spanish teacher. Most of my clients are from Amherst. So I actually started tutoring in person until COVID hit. So COVID had good things and very bad things. But the good thing is that it introduced me to the Zoom world, the online teaching. So obviously, with COVID hitting, I could not go in person to see my clients.
Right.
So then I found out about Zoom, right? So I started like turning all my materials into online materials, and that's why. And now currently I'm still doing online only because everybody loves it, and it gives everybody so much freedom, and they can join my classes from anywhere, even when their kids are on vacation, or even it allows me to while traveling, working. So it's been great. So yeah, I am an online Spanish teacher or tutor.
Yep, I remember that, Esther. I remember when we first connected with each other because of social media. I think you responded to a post of mine, and then I called you. And after that, we started actually our small, intimate Spanish class in person at the library. Remember that?
Correct, correct. I remember we did our first classes at the library, and
Right.
until COVID hit, and we've been online ever since because we saw how convenient it was for everybody, right? So yeah,
Right.
but at the beginning we were meeting at the Elmhurst Library.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for all of you watching us today, maybe some of you or many of you that know Esther, but may not know me as well, let me share with you a perspective. As an adult student, learning yet another language. Um, when Esther pivoted her business to use technology, to use Zoom, to give me what I want, I embraced it. Why? Because I had been using Zoom for my business. And what I took away from it was the benefits of not having to drive to the library, not having to find parking, and third, not having to lug my materials with me that I know Esther is going to say, well, Bill, open your homework. Show me your homework.
And you'll be like, "What homework?"
What homework? Yes, yes,
I forgot. I
yes,
forgot.
yes. Now Esther is telling on me because yes, I am one of her students who didn't enjoy doing homework as much. However,
Exactly.
However, as I shared with her just yesterday when we had a class, I did share with Esther all of these other materials, other technology tools that she used in her Spanish tutoring business. And by the way, I'm going to drop this in front of you. And if you don't know about it, guess what? Go do a Google search. And if you are as motivated as I am as an adult learner, or maybe your children want to learn how to speak Spanish better, there is this tool that she introduced me to. It's called Quizlet. Remember that, Esther?
Yes. 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 Quizlet. There are so many tools out there. Most of them are copies of Quizlet. Like they do the same thing.
Right,
Basically, Quizlet it's a flashcard based
right,
program. So you can make your own. This is a great thing. You can customize every single flashcard. So
right,
on one side you would have the expression or word in Spanish, and on the other side you would have the translation in English. So it's a tool to help you just go over all these flashcards. You see the word in Spanish, you have to think of it in English, and you click on it and it flips the card and you can see the translation, or vice versa.
right.
And yeah, and you can, as I said, you can customize every single set, and it's great because you can play with it anywhere. If you are, on your couch watching TV, you can just do it on your own. You are at the doctor's office waiting an hour for them to get you, so to just play with it. So it's really great. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And as I shared with Esther recently, because I use it um, as part of my practicing what I learn from Esther each and every week. And Esther is so correct. I was never the classmate in her class that loved doing homework. However, as I told Esther, I use Quizlet very consistently. And most recent, I told Esther, I said, hey, Esther, Quizlet now has this AI, artificial intelligence feature where it basically is like my practice partner, right? So it will ask me questions and I'm expected to respond back in Spanish. So guess what, Esther? When I don't, those days that I don't see you for our weekly class, I do attempt to use Quizlet wherever I am when I have free time just to refresh something.
Yeah, that's great. That's the best thing you can do. Like, really, Quizlet really helps you. And then not only as as I said, it has flashcards, but with that information that you enter to create a Quizlet set,
Right.
it's as you said, it has artificial intelligence, but also it has you can play games, and you can also you can have like quizzes. It quizzes you. It gives you
Right.
questions and multiple answers. So also you need to you can type in the answer. So you practice the spelling. Also, if you don't know how a word is pronounced in Spanish, there's always next to each word or expression, you can click on it and it will read it out loud for you in Spanish. So
Right.
it's a great tool. To me, it's the greatest tool.
Yeah.
There are, as I said, there are a lot of similar ones out there. They are just copies of Quizlet, basically. So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
it's a great tool. And as I said, you can practice from anywhere, anytime, just practicing, and it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you learn.
Yeah. That's the best way to learn, when it's fun. Can you share with our audience members the makeup of your students? What I think I know is you have students like myself who are adult learners, but you have also children, right?
Yes, most of my students are children
Okay.
because there is a lot of interest in, I think, at least in Elmhurst, for parents for the children to learn Spanish at an early age. So I have had students as young as 2 year old. They
Mm-hmm.
were 2 year olds, and yeah. So but I would say they are right now. They're between 5 years old and 10 years old. Um, so, and then obviously I have also high schoolers and
Right.
some adults.
Yeah.
The adults I have are parents of
Oh,
these children. So the
right. Right.
parents also want to learn Spanish, or they learn Spanish, in high school or college, and they just want to refresh their Spanish. So we do some conversational Spanish, but yeah, but mostly it's little kids. Also, the Amherst School District, before they used to offer Spanish from third grade,
Mm-hmm.
and since COVID, they are only offering it since sixth grade. So
Oh,
all these children before they're 10, they don't have any Spanish at school, and
right.
their parents want them to learn Spanish. So that's why I have a lot of kids within that age range.
Yeah. And because I, along with Esther, um, are from a different culture, let's call it like it is, everyone. Right now, regardless of where you live, it's becoming more and more important to understand, embrace, and be able to speak with others who are diverse, right? Who may not look like us, and whatever. So yes, as Esther mentioned, she makes a lot of what she does in her business a lot of fun. Not to mention, I've learned this, everyone. There are so many verbs in Spanish. So that's sometimes the hard part. But I've also learned from Esther the enunciation of certain words are very important, because if you enunciate it not the correct way, the outcome, the meaning is not what you want.
Yes, exactly. So some words you may think. So you may think. So if you pronounce something, like in a different way, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because that word may mean something maybe embarrassing that you're saying, pronouncing it correctly.
Right.
So yeah, with some words you have to be careful.
Yeah. Very true.
Also, I had a case. I'm not gonna say the word, but in Spanish, as you guys know, there are genders, feminine and masculine.
Right.
So in general, masculine nouns end in O and feminine nouns end in A. So I was teaching, I was teaching some animals to a little student. She was like 4 or 5 years old, and she, instead of ending the name of this animal in A, she would ending in O, and it would mean something that you didn't want to say. And I would insist on, no, you don't say like that. You say this other way. And she saw that there was a reason why. So she didn't want to say it correctly because she knew with the other ending it meant something that was not really, good. And so
Right.
she would insistently say it wrong. So I would be like, no, don't say that, and she would say it on. So it's very it's very important to be careful. So a letter or a sound may mean something totally different that you don't want to say to a Spanish speaking person because they'll be like, what?
Yeah. What did you just say to me? I know.
Yes. Yeah.
For all of you watching, if you know me, and if you've been keeping the fact that you speak Spanish a secret, well, hey, the next time you see me, you got to let me know, because Esther knows this already. The more practice partners that I can have, the better for me and the better for her. That way she knows that her investment of time teaching me Spanish is getting me to the outcome that I want. So Esther, at this point, let me move the conversation to this next question, because it's important as to the headline, the title of our video podcast series, which is why Elmhurst for you? What was your story that led you to Elmhurst?
Yes, well, so I am from Spain, from Barcelona, and you don't really find many Spaniards living here. But so if you find a Spaniard, it's here, living here, it's mostly for three main reasons. The first one is because you are attending college or some sort of school. The second one is because your company in Spain transferred you to the United States to work here.
Right.
And the third one is love. So I met my husband through through our company. We used to work for the same company. It's
Okay.
a multinational company based in Chicago, and I was based in Barcelona. So we met through our company, and we started dating. We met in Barcelona. Eventually, I moved here. We got married. I moved here, and he was already living here. So it's not that I chose to be here or we moved here for a reason. He was already here,
Right.
and I was mentioning to you, Bill, yesterday. I felt so blessed and happy to have landed here because after living here for a while, I realized how wonderful this community is, how wonderful this city is, and I would not live in any other place. It has everything I wanted, and I've made so many friends, and so this is how I ended up here, because my husband was already living here. So yeah.
Hey, there you have it. All of you watching, love, it's a big motivator. Right on. And I'm like you. I've lived here in Elmhurst for as long as you have, maybe a little bit longer. And I think some of the reasons that you share with me why Elmhurst for you is the same for me. So one last question as we wrap up. I'm going to put you on the spot, Esther. What is your favorite Elmhurst spot that you enjoy the most?
Well, my favorite spot is no doubt Wilder Park.
Oh, yes.
Because, well, and the library. We have this wonderful library. I'm there all the time. So the library, and I'm sure for people who have children and live here in Amherst, it's the best place. I love being at the library, but also I love walking around Wilder Park and the Waldorf Mansion. And so I think it's a very peaceful place for me to be, like sitting there at the park and also spending time at the library, reading books or preparing my classes. I feel, I don't know, at peace there, even in both the library and at the park. So that's my favorite area.
That's your favorite spot? Yeah.
Yes, my favorite spot is Water Park / the library, that area. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And so as we wrap up today's episode, if for you who are watching this episode today, you are considering moving into Elmhurst, within Elmhurst, or maybe this might happen, you might decide to move out of Elmhurst for the reason of love that Esther mentioned. When and if this life event is in front of you and you are in need of financial solutions for your next real estate purchase, all you need to do is scan this QR code to explore what solutions are available for you. So Esther, as we wrap up today, I'm going to attempt to practice my Spanish. Muchas gracias, señorita.
De nada, estudiante.
Nos vemos semana.
Nos vemos. Adiós.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.